Hello everyone, my name's Sonic Gates, and today's video is going to be different this time around. I really wanted to dedicate a video covering this Roblox game for a little while now, and with its public release arriving next Friday on February 18th, I do think now's the time to inform you guys about the upcoming open world MMORPG, Emblem Tales. Before I get started, I would like for you guys to show your support for the video by liking it and sharing it with your friends. I really want to see this game get on the front page. I personally think the more exposure Emblem Tales gets, the more players the game will get, which leads to Emblem Tales getting more updates and long-term support. Not to mention the video itself took a while to make because of the amount of time I took to compile any possible information I could find. So again, liking and sharing the video is greatly appreciated. Let's get right to it. So Emblem Tales, like I said, is a action MMORPG set in an open world environment filled with different landscapes, towns, and creatures alike, from lustrous forests and sandy cliffsides to barren wastelands and pitch black caves. The world seems very expansive, meaning there will be plenty to explore and discover, as expected for an open world RPG, as well as hidden secrets that could potentially give secret quests for exclusive item rewards. There will also be plenty of points of interest like an auction house, an NPC black market seller, a traveling system, and more. You are also able to do some sort of farming or harvesting work, as shown in the trailer, although there's no information surrounding what it'll be used for. The enemies themselves seem like they have different variations of attacks, meaning all of them are unique and will take some experience to adapt to their patterns and defeat, similar to Deep Woken's enemies like the Megalodont or Thresher, although it is hinted that some of these enemies could be tamed or captured in some way to become usable mounts for faster ground travel. So far, Emblem Tales plans to release with 8 different classes for you to choose from, each with abilities pertaining to their dedicated roles. There's Acolyte, a magical support class that provides buffs to the party and debuffs enemies. Warrior, a one-handed sword wielder who mainly focuses on close-range combat. Knight, a defensive melee class who helps to protect their party with tanking and stunning abilities. Scholar, a well-rounded mage class that provides both DPS and passive support to the party. Rogue, an assassin class that's very agile and uses daggers to deal burst damage. Lancer, an offensive spear or lance class dedicated to aggressive play with self-buffing abilities. Ranger, a dedicated bow class focusing on the keep-away game with a variety of ranged attacks. And Brawler, a melee class purely using hand-to-hand combat to consistently put pressure on enemies. You will not be able to change classes once you've picked one, meaning you will need to create another character slot in order to play as a different class. Players will be given 2 free character slots, although the rest will need to be paid for with Robux. There will also be a variety of builds that you can make with the classes that you pick, even if you encounter other players that use the same class. Shift Blocks makes an example by saying that there can be 2 warriors, but one may be focused on defense and dexterity, which I could assume can either be more stamina or more critical chance, and the other is focused on strength. All of these classes I personally feel will provide a lot of use for each other, especially with certain combinations like Brawler and Ranger, which segues well with what I'm about to cover next. There's a video on the Emblem Tales YouTube channel showcasing gameplay of what seems to be a dungeon raid themed around a wasp hive and players fighting waves of enemies on top of a massive wasp, which is really cool by the way. This kind of activity could be a hint towards endgame content, although not much is shown besides the hive tower and PvE combat, which we could assume that there's multiple parts to a dungeon raid other than simply defeating enemies. We could also assume these dungeon raids will require you to bring a full party as well, seeing as there are multiple players working together to stun the enemies and defeating them as a group, as well as a variety of classes being used such as Warrior, Rogue, and Acolyte. This next section of the video will provide extra information taken from Above and Beyond inside our YouTube channel, where there are archived Twitch streams that actually have Q&A sections from the main developers behind Emblem Tales. I will be listing off what's being confirmed for the game provided by one of the founders of A&B and Emblem Tales, Shiftblocks. Here we go. Number 1. As mentioned before, there will be character slots. 2 will be provided for free, and any additional slots will need to be paid for with Robux. Number 2. An auction house will be present in the game that will function like a player market, basically being able to buy and sell equipment from other players. Number 3. There will be tons of secrets hidden within the game, like secret quests, giving exclusive rewards like potential items or weapons. Number 4. Guilds are already in the game and are a major part of the game for both PvE and PvP, providing great rewards and even planning a guild war system, although there's no details on that yet. Guilds will also have a leveling system, which for example will increase the amount of members you can recruit in said guild. Number 5. Shiftblocks mentioned that you shouldn't go into Emblem Tales under a quote-unquote Kirito mindset, thinking you'll be able to solo everything in the game. So there will be times where you have to pair up with other players to possibly progress through the game or grind endgame content. Number 6. Crafting will also be implemented and will be the main source for some of the best gear you could obtain in Emblem Tales. Number 7. Max players in a party is 4, although this will be raised in a dungeon raid, not specified. Number 8. There will be an immersive and deep storyline present in the game, although it may take some time for players to finish in-game. Number 9. Armors and items will not have randomized stat values. Basically, if you were to get a duplicate, that weapon will have the exact same stats as the one you previously owned. Number 10. Future updates will, quote, add very big expansions to the game and, quote, will expand on the game and make it way better. The first update we do is probably going to be very game-changing. It's going to be deeper than just adding a new area and adding a new world, end quote. Holiday updates are also planned. Number 11. There will be a traveling system to go around the world, and I believe we get to see a glimpse of that in the Lincraft trailer with those big crystals in some NPC towns. Number 12. Harvesting will be a thing in the game as shown in the Lincraft trailer, although there are no details on this topic. Number 13. There will be cosmetic titles that you can equip and are rewarded from tournaments. No specification on this either. Number 14. There will be mounts as well, as shown in a Lincraft trailer, that can be used to move around the world fast. Number 15. NPCs will provide lore to Emblem Tales and may even drop hints to future updates for the game. Number 16. There will be ways to expand your player's inventory through various means, not specified though. Number 17. Community events are planned and, quote, do heavily impact the game. The ones we do, it can have a lasting mark on the world. Every community event will affect lore in a certain way, end quote. Shiftblocks also mentioned that a test tournament they did in the past is actually within the game's lore, so that's a good example of what's to come in the future. Number 18. Newspapers are planned in the game, potentially as a way to inform players of certain events happening within the game itself, similar to World of Magic of how players were informed of players destroying towns, defeating strong enemies, etc. Number 19. There will be races for players in the game that provide certain stat boosts and are all balanced around them, meaning that no one race is better than another. There will also be hidden objectives to unlock certain things for your race and a way to change your race without having to buy microtransactions, although it is hinted to be a secret way to do it. Number 20. The quote perk system has the potential to modify class abilities, meaning if you have a certain quote perk, it can change the way you use your class abilities completely depending on the effect. Number 21. There will be an NPC black market seller in the game that will sell you microtransaction items in exchange for in-game currency. However, they will only have a chance to spawn in villages and can only spawn at night. And number 22. There will be a government system in the game run by Shiftblocks, the staff team, and 2 other developers. This will basically be a means to participate in guild activities if you don't have the luxury of being in a guild. Currently, players who are in are handpicked, but eventually it will be open to join by anyone. And with that, that is currently all the information I can provide to you about Emblem Tales. The development team is still having test sessions between now and release, so you can potentially see some gameplay of Emblem Tales before it even launches. If you want to see me cover that, be sure to subscribe to the channel and maybe even turn on post notifications to be notified of when I do upload a video. I personally really do have high expectations for Emblem Tales, seeing as though it has taken quite a while for the game to reach its current state, and seeing the trailer and gameplay footage for it, I'm really stoked to see what this game has to offer, especially when I'm a huge RPG fan. I will be leaving links to all of the Emblem Tales social media such as Discord, Twitter, and TikTok, so you guys can take a look at the footage yourselves and be notified of when the game releases. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you all in game soon. ET on top!